Hi, I'm Mary Belamides, and I'm going to share with you the first grade, 4th 6 weeks mathematics curriculum preview. Here are the big ideas for this 4th 6 weeks. We're going to be doing skip counting, continue 10 more and 10 less, identify and count coins, use number sentences up to 20 with an unknown, learn more about addition strategies, and begin understanding addition and subtraction relationships. So we'll be doing this portion of your scope and sequence. So let's talk about skip counting and money. We'll be skip counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s to determine the total number of objects up to 120. And we'll also be talking about those relationships to determine if a number is 10 more or 10 less than a given number. So when we skip count by 2s, 5s, and 10s, we can use our 10 frames that could skip count by all of those. Or you can use hands to skip count by 5s. You can use base 10 blocks to skip count by 10s. When you are thinking about what to do with 10 more and 10 less, one thing you can do is use the hundreds chart or the 120 chart. And the kids can, for example, on the example, the number is 74, 10 more would be 84, and 10 less would be 64. On this slide are the directions for how to play Find My Number using a 100 or a 120 chart. There are other resources also available in Eduphoria, and for example, this particular resource using a 100 chart, 120 chart actually. On February the 6th will be the 100th day of school. So you might want to count 100 items on that day. For counting coins, we have devoted 7 days for counting coins. Notice 1.4a, the kids will be identifying U.S. coins and also by value and describe the relationships among them for pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. They will be using the cent symbol to describe the value of a coin, not the dollar sign and the decimal point. And 1.4c, they're going to be counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s to determine the value of a collection of pennies, nickels, or dimes, but not quarters. So looking at 1.4a, you'll see the relationship for pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters on the right. You'll see some ideas that you can use with the kids. And then 1.4c, again, the kids are not counting quarters. They're only counting pennies, nickels, and dimes. And this is a good essay to help practice text 1.5b for skip counting. Some activities in Eduphoria are on this slide that you can check out to help with those essays. Then the next unit will be Unit 6 for addition and subtraction with word problems and relationships. So we'll start with 1.3b, where you're going to be using objects and pictorial models to solve word problems involving joining, separating, and comparing sets within 20 and having unknowns. Here's a resource that's available in Eduphoria. You can also use the house math that's available, and here's an example of what you can say with the house math. Here are some problems that you could use of the different types of problems, such as joining could be a result is unknown, the change unknown, or the start unknown. The same is true for separating or decomposing. Another thing you can use are the diagrams to show pictures of what the kids are doing. Sums and Sum It Up is also available in Eduphoria. Then we'll start with 1.5d. 1.5d says to represent word problems involving addition and subtraction of whole numbers up to 20 using concrete and pictorial models and number sentences. So we want to make sure the kids understand how to use the concrete models as well as pictorial models and number sentences. So the kids are given a word problem, they model it either with concrete objects or pictures, and they write the number sentence to solve the problem. You can also use UPS check with this particular SC. Notice in this example, the problem is I have 4 crackers. My dad gave me more crackers. Now I have 8 crackers. How many crackers did my dad give me? So what I need to find is how many crackers Dad gave me. So here in the plan, we have the 4. We know we have to have a total of 8. So with two color counters, we go ahead and put the other amount to make 8 in a different color. And then we have our solving by showing the equation, or the equation, and then we check our work. Addition and subtraction problems for Module 12, you can see we can, 1.3c, says to compose 10 with 2 or more add-ins, with and without concrete objects. So here's an example of using two-sided counters to show the different ways to add 10 or compose 10. 1.5f says to determine the unknown whole number in an addition or subtraction equation. And here we have the different types that we saw earlier, here where the result is unknown, the change is unknown, and the start is unknown. Also in 1.5e, the kids need to understand the equal sign represents a relationship where everything is equal on each side. So make sure you use your number balance with the kids. You might even want to put an equal sign in the middle so that they can see that 9 plus 7 is equal to 16. The number balance is balanced when they're equal. More addition strategies, 1.5g, we're going to apply the properties of operations to add and subtract 2 or 3 numbers. And we're going to use manipulative to demonstrate these properties. So with the commutative property, we know that it doesn't matter what order we add the numbers, the sum will still be the same. The associative property is where we just put 2 numbers together to add first. And you can see how here again, the numbers would be the same. There are resources available in your pacing guide, and we have things such as MegaMath videos listed. When doing UPS check, there are some resources available to you in Eduphoria. If you go under Yearly Content Documents, District Instructional Resources, and then UPS check, you will find student interview cards where the kids can ask each other these questions to make sure they've answered the problem correctly. This is something you can do at the end of the year. They have reminder questions that they could put in their journal or take to their desk. And there are some scripts for you as a teacher if you want to read an example of how to use UPS check. But the best part is we have videos available to you to watch from B. Luchin modeling UPS check with our students here in Birdville. So she modeled in 3rd grade at Major Cheney. She used a graphic with that problem. In 4th grade at Stowe, she didn't use a graphic. It was just a problem, a multiplication problem. So if you would like to watch these videos, or if there's a special part, like if you really want to understand how to understand, you'll see that I have broken down the video into different sections, so you can just find the exact numbers that you want to go to, so you'll get to the part of the video you really want to watch. You don't have to watch the whole thing. The vocabulary for this particular 6 weeks, you'll see we'll have to review some from the first 6 weeks, and then other words to review, but we have here on the far right the new vocabulary for the 4th 6 weeks. Here's what our 6 weeks is going to look like. Notice there's only 28 days of school this 6 weeks. We have a flex day and a student holiday. And then we also, during those 28 days, 1 day will be devoted to the middle of the year Universal Screener. You can use this sheet if you'd like to plan or just to sketch out your plans for our 4th 6 weeks. Thank you for listening to this video. The PowerPoint will be available separately in Canvas. Have a wonderful day. Bye.